up, guys? Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder, as your host. And I'm doing a little bit of a bonus video today. This one is for anyone considering coming to Prime or really into trucking in general. And by the way, if you find this video or any other videos helpful, all of my contact information is below this video in the description, as well as my driver code and an excellent recruiter that you can talk to. I know her. I talk to her often. She's a great recruiter. She was Jenna's recruiter. So her phone number is down below in the description as well. So we've just been through brutal blizzards, brutal winter storms, and now we're sitting in 80-degree weather running the air conditioner full blast in the truck. And it just made me think, well, that combined with the fact that I've been getting I had a phone call a couple weeks ago, and I've actually gotten comments on this too, but I had a phone call a couple weeks ago from a husband and wife team couple that live in the Springfield area. And they've been driving for like 15 years, and they're thinking of coming to Prime. So it was a fascinating conversation, because I was like, how are you a team truck driving couple living in Springfield, and you're only just now thinking of coming to Prime, right? Because Springfield is like ground zero for Prime, you know. So having this conversation with him, and he I don't want to mention his name. He watches every video, so you know who you are. But he said to me on the phone, he said, you know, really enjoy your channel. You make trucking look fun. And so we kind of laughed about that and had some conversation about it. And I told him, I was like, well, it's not really my intention. You know, I always want to show the good and the bad. I mean, the last couple of days I've been talking about just being dictated by the weather, you know. But even then, I guess, and you know, I go back and watch my videos, I guess I can see how I just always kind of have a good mindset about it all. But that's how I live, you know. I mean, you just got to make the best of everything. So but I wanted to do this video for anyone who's thinking of coming to Prime or getting into trucking, as a sort of reality check. And it's interesting watching these new YouTubers, these new students who are coming to Prime, because you'll notice something. You'll notice something happen. You'll notice when they when they're on their way to Prime, there's a lot of videos. When they get to PSD, there's a lot of videos. And when they're in PSD, it's sort of this exciting phase. You've got, you know, you're in a hotel room, you're collaborating and meeting and networking with other student drivers or existing drivers, veteran drivers, trainers, all the staff there at campus and at Prime. And it's really busy, and you get your rest, and you have a consistent schedule. You know, you sleep all night, and you go to your classes, and you you do your training all day, you know. So they're doing videos like every day or every other day in PSD. And then you'll notice something happen when they get their CDL and they go into TNT. They go dark. Maybe one video per week. And that's because TNT is there's no real time to transition you. PSD is the time to transition you from a normal scheduled life that you currently live, or if you're not in trucking yet, that you currently live. That's about a week long, or a couple weeks long period, especially for those who stay there and do most of their PSD on the pad. It's a couple weeks long period of transition. And when you get that CDL and you get into TNT, it's game on. It's go. It's green light, rocket fuel, put NOS in the, you know, turn the NOS knob and 1 speed, go. it is a brutal reality check of the life that you're about to have. And I don't want to, I guess in my videos, it appears that, that this is fun. A lot of it is fun. A lot of it is enjoyable. A lot of it is not fun at all. And a lot, some of those parts you kind of embrace, and they become a part of what you do. So in time, they become things like that you don't even think about. Like I'm still pretty new at 2 years in. I'm still, in the grand scheme of things in the trucking industry, I'm still a new driver. But 2 years is enough time for me to have fully adjusted to the fact that I have no consistent schedule, none whatsoever. Now, running a team truck with Jenna, it's actually a little bit more consistent because I drive exclusively at nights and she drives exclusively at days. But she's having to help with things at night, and I'm having to help with things in the day, so it's still not quite that consistent. But as a solo driver, there was zero consistency in it, zero. I'd be getting up at midnight one night and driving until 8 a.m. and then the next night I'm getting up at 3 or starting late in the afternoon and getting off the road at 3 or 4 in the morning. And then you've got an appointment the next day in the middle of the day, so you're up all day, whereas normally the last couple days you would be sleeping all day. And really teaching yourself, teaching your body, your biological clock, to be able to function and operate that way is an extraordinary feat. And that's what those students are going through in TNT. And not just teaching themselves that at the same time that they're doing that, they're also having to learn that, like was the case for us this morning. We roll into Miami in terrible inbound rush hour traffic, 5:15 in the morning. And we had to park out behind this receiver in gravel, stay there for a few hours. When we leave here, we're going to have to do the same. Go out there behind this receiver, parking gravel for the day because of our next load. So sometimes you're like just parked in an alley, no facilities. Fortunately, there looks to be some really good food trucks. Jenna went right now to see if they have mofongo, which is a Puerto Rican dish that I love. Plantains. I really hope that truck has it. Because we're down here in Miami and I love it, so I hope they have it. But sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no food, so it's it just turns your life upside down, and I know that a lot of you may be sitting there watching YouTube videos and you say, and it's exciting, and it is exciting. Remy here is wearing a diaper, by the way, you guys. The reason she's wearing a diaper is because she's in heat. And it's a pain in the ass. I'm going to get off topic here for a second, but German Shepherds have a tendency to have hip problems. And because she jumps in and out of the truck, we're very concerned, so we didn't have her fixed. It's actually good for them to not be fixed, especially the German Shepherd breed. And she is a purebred. She is purebred, so hang on, Jenna's calling me. So she's purebred, so we have to take really good care of her. We have to really pay attention to her diet. But when she goes in heat, you gotta put a diaper on her, which is a pain in the butt because it means you gotta take a diaper off of her every time she goes outside. But she can't take care of herself during that time frame like humans can. So anyway, sorry, I'm bloviating. You probably watched this video like I did and thinking, you're thinking to yourself, it's exciting, and I you know, I'm looking forward to experiencing that. I'm ready for some change in my life. Good, you should be, but you should be ready for it to be substantially more radical than you expect it to be. And we know a couple students right now in TNT that are coming to grips with the fact that it's going to be, you know, 6 weeks before they get to go home, which I don't know why anyone would come to Prime under, or any trucking company, under any other illusion. I think it's just a punch in the throat on the reality side. You know, when it actually happens, you know, you have all these emotions, you have the physical wear and tear of being thrown into having no consistent schedule whatsoever, having to sleep during the day one day and all night the next night, and you may work for 10 hours and then you have to force yourself back to sleep. It's very unnatural. In your normal life, you might get up at 6 a.m. and you're in bed by 10 p.m., right? So you sleep for 8 hours, and then you've got you've got the rest of the day, 16 hours to get all your stuff done. Well, in trucking, you may only be up for 10 or 11 hours. You have to go back to sleep. It's hard to train yourself that way. You're just not trained that way. You're trained to go to sleep after 16 hours, you know, but you have to sleep. You have to sleep because 8 or 10 hours later, you got to go work 10, 14-hour shift, you know. So it's just, my videos, I make the best of it. The schedule, we make it work for us, you know. For me, especially since I drive at night, which is substantially harder, more difficult on your psyche, your biological, you know, we're not designed to be awake all night. It's more difficult. So I sleep when I can. Every chance that I can, I sleep. I try to sleep. Like, it sucks because there's other things that I want to do. I like to stay active. I have other projects I'm working on, but I have to try to sleep any chance that I can. But I'm adjusted to that. I'm adjusted to, I don't even think anything about it if we have to park in an alley or in the gravel on the side of some random street and in a industrial park. You know, 2 years in, it's very normal to me now. Not being home and just being in this truck, moving and working and hauling loads and hustling for a month at a time, not uncommon to me now. But in the beginning, during TNT, it was quite something to come to grips with, you know. And so, I mean, people talk about how bad the food is in truck stops, and you're not really going to get a lot of exercise, and all that's true. But I think watching the psychological and physical warfare on individuals in TNT right now is just a reminder that it's a very difficult transition. And it's one of the reasons that I'm glad that Prime has a longer training period, because it's not just about becoming a professional driver and learning the business. It's also just about preparing you for that. You know, 2 weeks training is not going to prepare you for that. It's just not. I follow another channel of someone with a mega carrier that has like a 2 or 3 week training program, and this guy is he's on like his 5th week, and he's just dysfunctional. You know, he's just discombobulated and is not prepared for it, and it's causing all kinds of problems. And he's probably going to leave trucking because he just wasn't it wasn't just training for driving a truck, you know, it's training for living this way. So I want to make sure that even though my videos, you know, I kind of get outside a truck and I laugh about the situations, laugh about bad things that happen and stuff, you got to make the best of it, but also want to make it clear that this shit's hard, you know. It is not for everyone, and a lot of people don't make it. A lot A lot don't make it. There were probably 108, 110 students in my class, and as far as I'm aware, there's less than like 4. I think there's 3 or 4 of us. I asked a few months ago, and was told that there's I think she said 4. That's crazy, guys. I mean, 110 students in my orientation class, and there's 4 left 2 years later. Think about that. So just be prepared, man. Be prepared. Make sure you know what you're walking into. And I always tell people when they ask, is TNT really that bad? I said, look, TNT was one of the hardest few months of my life. 41 years, it was probably the most difficult thing that I've ever done in my life, for a lot of reasons. And you need to go into it with the reality that is a possibility for you, and that you can't crack, you can't break down. You just have to flip a switch and get through it. And if you can get to that 1 year point, and you can make that adjustment in your life and have goals. Don't do this for 30 years without any goals. I don't want to do this for 10 years. This can be very, very good for you financially. Very good. Very rewarding. So anyways, I just want to throw that out there today. Just give you a little bit of an extra video. So, all right, guys, she's going to be back here shortly. Hopefully we can eat something, figure out where we go from there. Be safe, make good decisions. As always, drive to thrive. Talk to you guys soon.